What's going on, everyone? As you can see, I'm not here. Please be nice to the sub and all that. So, today we'll finish reading the pyramid article. I will struggle with some pronunciation, but I have a couple pages I think that will help me. And then there'll be time to watch Simon Wilson visit the fourth wonder, the Taj Mahal. Before we get to that stuff, if you would look at Google Classroom, I think I can get it there. If you check Google Classroom, there's another, because we got one more week of learning and stuff. There is another question: which wonder should we study next? It just came out a couple hours ago. So far, Chichen Itza, Taj Mahal, Colosseum, Machu Picchu, they all have some votes. And my favorite one doesn't, but that's okay. That's okay. I've been doing a little research on my own. So figure out which one you want to talk about next week, and we'll do that one. So last week's winner was pyramids, and we have just a couple more sections to read. We are almost done, but it does have some of the more difficult pronunciation there. So we read this, we read that, but we stopped here with this diagram of a pyramid. So here we go. Wish me luck. No pyramids are more famous than the Great Pyramids of Giza. These three pyramids are located on a plateau. You might know that from probably geography class or something like that, right? It's high up, kind of like a mountain with the top cut off, plateau, flat top there. On the west bank of the Nile River, near Cairo. The oldest of these is called the Great Pyramid, easy enough, built for Khufu, the second of the 8 kings of the 4th dynasty. And we talked about these, I guess there were like 30-something dynasties in Egypt, but it's pretty much only like the 3rd through the 6th that are actually building pyramids. We're going to find out. They got lazy. The sides of the pyramid base average 755 feet, and its original height was just over 481 feet. This makes it the largest pyramid in the world. 3 small pyramids were built for Khufu's queens, lined up next to the Great Pyramid. So apparently this guy could have more than one wife. A tomb was found nearby containing the empty sarcophagus of his mother, Queen Hectopheres, maybe? It's probably wrong. But sarcophagus, it's pretty much only a word you'll hear when you're talking about ancient Egypt, but I do have a little something here for you. So that's what a sarcophagus is. It's like basically a fancy coffin, pretty much. So right there, kind of famous, right? Sarcophagus. That's what a sarcophagus is. More reading. Like the other pyramids, Khufu, make that a little bigger. Khufu is surrounded by rows of mastabas. We talked about that, where relatives or officials of the king were buried to accompany and support him in the afterlife. More difficult pronunciation. The middle pyramid at Giza was built for Khufu's son. Apparently,
Khafra.
Khafra. That's how you say that. Khafra. Lost my place right here. Who ruled from about 2558 BC to 2532 BC. Remember, negative numbers, the bigger number is further back, unlike what we do now. 2023, next year will be 2024. The numbers get bigger. One feature of Khafra's pyramid complex was the Great Sphinx. We saw that in the video. This guardian statue was carved in limestone with the head of a man and the body of a lion. It is the largest statue in the ancient world, measuring 240 feet long, 66 feet high. The southernmost pyramid at Giza was built for Khafre's son. Not even going to try. Here we go.
Menkora.
Menkora. Not so bad, I guess. Menkora. just takes a long time to get from one tab to the other. Who ruled from 2532 BC to 2503 BC. It is the shortest of the three pyramids at 218 feet and was the first of the smaller pyramids that would be constructed during the 5th and 6th dynasties. Approximately 2.3 million blocks of stone that weighed about 2.5 tons each had to be cut, transported, and assembled to build Khufu's Great Pyramid. The ancient Greek historian Herodotus wrote that it took 20 years and 100,000 men to build. Later evidence suggests that closer to 20,000 laborers worked on it. Now, if you remember the guy that we saw, he said the pyramids were 7,000 years old in Simon Wilson's video. They're a little under 5,000 years. But if you remember, he said it took 30 years to build, 30 years to get the stones there, 30 years to cut the stones, 30 years to, 10, 10, and 10. 10 years to transport, 10 years to cut, 10 years to build. But if he was wrong about one thing, he might have been wrong about that too. All right, make this bigger. Skeletons right here. Skeletons found near the area show that the workers were probably native Egyptian agricultural laborers. These men worked on the pyramids during the time of the year when the Nile flooded much of the land nearby. So they didn't have any work to do on their farms. So who knows? Were they paid? Were they slaves? The end of the pyramid era. Pyramids continued to be built through the 5th and 6th dynasties. Sadly, the quality and the scale of their construction declined over this period. People got lazy. Just like if you go into McDonald's now, 10 years ago, you had great service. Now, it's a little sketchy. Just everything gets worse over time. Teachers, they've gotten more lazy, right? They don't even actually teach anymore. They just show video. So it's declining, unfortunately. So by the sixth dynasty, those great pyramids, too much work. In the later pyramids, builders began to write accounts of events of the king's reign on the walls of the burial chamber and the rest of the pyramid's interior. Known as the pyramid texts, these are the earliest significant religious writings known from ancient Egypt. The last of the great pyramid builders was Pepi II, the second king of the 6th dynasty. He ruled from 2278 BC to 2184 BC. His pyramid was much shorter, at 172 feet, than those built before him. With Pepi II's death, the kingdom, strong central government, collapsed. Later, kings would return to pyramid building, but never on the same scale as the Great Pyramids. The pyramids today, hey, got to give a shout out to, there we go. You can see the headline there. Ryan, shout out, Ryan, Class A. I didn't know this, but earlier this month, I think on May 2nd, there was another corridor that was discovered in the Great Pyramid. And so if you want to take a look, it's just, they haven't explored it yet. They're using, I guess, lasers to figure it out, but maybe there'll be some more gold and stuff in there. And remember, all the gold, actually, in the next thing we read, all the gold was taken out of there just because so many people were trying to steal the stuff. So that's why that tour guide that Simon had that gave some false information said, all the gold and stuff, it's been moved to the museum. So, all right, almost done here. Make it bigger. Tomb robbers in both ancient and modern times removed most of the bodies and funeral goods from Egypt's pyramids. They plundered the outsides of the pyramids as well, stripping off most of their smooth white limestone coverings. Still, millions of people continue to visit the pyramids each year. They are drawn by the towering greatness and the enduring appeal of Egypt's rich and glorious past. I think that's it. I had a lot of tabs to share with you. I think I did it all in under 10 minutes. Hopefully, I know I read quite quickly, but maybe you finished the Google form for the pyramids. Remember, the Google form for Pompeii is due today as well. So try to get that in. Irina Sendler was put in yesterday. The quiz from last week is also in PowerSchool. So check that stuff out. Next, you're going to see Simon Wilson go to the Taj Mahal with a friend of his that he met earlier in India. He does these challenges where he'll go to a city and he can't use any money and he has to survive there for a while. So his friend was there, and he's going to buy some dry shampoo, which I've started using a little bit instead of what, because, I don't have a lot of hair left. So I'm trying to preserve this hair as best I can. A little bit of dry shampoo on there makes it look new. You have to wash it with like shampoo, real shampoo, like a little bit less. So hopefully I can hang on to this stuff for another couple years. All right. See ya.